Welcome to the Funding Fathers, where mortgages meet manhood and curiosity meets conversation. Your hosts, Jesse Cronin, Chad Paris, and Tyler Jenkins sit down with guests from every walk of life. Industry insiders, entrepreneurs, and everyday people with extraordinary stories. The topics, anything that fuels life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Pull up a chair, pour yourself a drink. The conversation starts now. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Funding Fathers podcast. We are at the closing table with none other than yours truly, Tyler Jenkins.
Jesse Cronin.
Boom, baby. Let's go.
The Boom
CP
Doctor.
here. Let's go.
For those of you who don't know who Boom is, that's Chad Paris.
I'm sure that when this goes on my Facebook under Chad Paris, they're going to figure that out. You
Dr.
know?
Boom.
So,
There.
but if
first
you
grade.
don't figure that out, we got,
Getting spicy this
Second
season.
grade head basketball girls coach.
Oh,
Chad
let's
Paris.
go. There we go.
We got a special guest today, dear friend of mine. Actually, it's funny because I've known our guest for, it's crazy to say it out loud, but about 30 years.
Yeah.
And we
old.
reconnected several years ago
Right.
through real estate. But Heather Spencer, Heather's a 25-year wife of Greg, right?
Yep.
Mother of 6,
Yep.
5 boys and a girl.
Holy.
And we'll get into this, but Greg was deployed
Bo
a lot,
Hoffman.
so very much like a like full time mom raising those,
Yep.
traveling around. I saw this. We'll get into this too. 10 schools in your
Yep.
life, a couple countries.
Yep.
But yeah, master of real estate and our friend. Welcome to the table.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I consider Louisville I say I'm a native Louisvillian. I'm as native as I can be to
I would say
anywhere.
you're
I'm a transplant too.
Yeah,
People think I'm from here.
We moved back when I was 8, so
Yeah.
that counts, right?
I've been here 24 years. I call Louisville, it's kind of
Yeah.
it's pretty much my home.
Well, and my grandfather worked at the Courier Journal for like 45 years. So I'm like, you don't get much more Louisville. All the boys went to St. X. Like,
Yeah,
You know,
you're native.
exactly. My dad grew up on Stanford Field, took the bus to St. X, yeah.
What year did your dad graduate from St. X?
Let's see. They married in 76. Well, he was born in 49. So what would that?
67.
Yeah. I was thinking 67.
My dad
yeah.
was a 67 grad. True
That's
story.
wild. Yeah. I
Where'd he
wonder if
grow
they
up?
knew each other.
I bet they did. Where'd he grow up?
Stanford Field.
Oh, that's where he actually
Yeah,
grew up.
yeah.
Okay. My dad
Yeah,
was a
5
West
kids
End
in a
boy.
little tiny house.
Yeah.
Like when people look at houses now and they're like, well, I have 2 kids, this won't work. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh.
When I imagine what people did back in the day,
Oh,
those big Catholic families and teeny tiny little, nothing houses.
we grew up in what my mom likes to call the smallest 2,000 square foot house in the city with 5 boys,
Yeah.
with 1 bathroom.
Oh, I didn't know you only had 1
Yeesh.
bathroom.
Yeah.
Lordy.
So, but yeah, I know what you mean. Catholic families, like now people are like,
Wasn't the shower head kind of low too?
Yeah.
there was no shower wasn't though. We had a bathtub with like one
I
of those things with a hose that you like sat in,
Uh-huh.
right? And if somebody had to go to the bathroom,
Well, a good
Like,
thing with
they're
boys
coming
is
in.
you just go outside.
you go outside. But my poor mother, like
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like I gotta go. It's like either go outside or what if it's So, anyways, that
My
was
sister
that
has
was
4
childhood.
boys and 2 girls, and
Wow.
they live in Atlanta. And one of
Jeez.
her neighbors
Isn't that
said,
wild?
"Can you tell your sons to stop peeing outside?" Yeah,
And we peed outside.
Oh, really?
they didn't have a fence, so I think it was sometimes
Oh.
in the neighbor's yard. So yeah, occasionally,
As you're eating dinner,
exactly.
like,
You look over and you see it.
family talk with our kids.
7-year-old.
How was school today, young little Johnny? Oh, there's Jimmy again, peeing on our bush.
No, it's funny. So, having girls, we don't see that as much. I'm not saying
No.
my kids have never done it, right? Chad, he's
Yeah.
got a little girl, he's got twin boys, but my brother and sister-in-law literally have a photo album in their phone of all the places that their little boy pees outside. Like, he's like, I gotta go. Like,
Listen, Gray Paris wanted to be a dog one time, and she thought it was funny, and I was like, we can't do that. She
Yeah,
poops. Now, I have a backyard. This is when she was still in kind of diapers kind of
Yeah.
thing. Well, actually, she might not have been. We were out back and it was snowing and she was wanted to be Murphy was still alive.
Murph, yeah.
And I
gave it a
swear to you,
shot.
she squatted and boom, it happened. And I was like,
impressive.
Yeah.
great. And it was funny at the time. And then she
Yeah.
tried to do it again another day. I was like, no. That was a one time.
Yeah.
We go inside in the house. But it was super funny. But yeah,
It's a good
she
skill
dropped a
to
deuce
have.
in
Yeah.
the yard.
she's 18 now. She was 15 when this happened, so
Yeah.
it's weird.
Oh,
No.
it's
Grace said.
Well, my son last night, I think, set a record for poops within a 30-minute time frame.
Not you.
No, listen, the dude,
How old is he?
he's 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Blew his diaper out twice. I'm not kidding.
God
It was
love him.
15, 20 minutes. I'm like, all right, cool. He's got to be done. put him in the bath. What do you think he does as soon
In the
as I
bathtub.
put him in the bath?
Welcome to
Oh, this
parenthood.
is a regular
Welcome to
thing with him.
parenthood.
This is a regular thing with him.
It's very relaxing.
Like sits in there. He's got a million toys, whatever. I turn around, I'm like getting his soap and all that, and just
You're
floating around,
Oh.
and he's just like looking at it. And I'm like, buddy.
I never had that.
So I took him out. Take all the toys, put them in the sink, like soaking them, like cleaning them off, whatever. Drained it, cleaned the whole thing. Start running it. It gets like halfway full.
No.
Put him back in.
Stop.
And he repeats everything now. So I go, God damn it. What do you think he said?
Oh. You just kind of chuckle inside a little bit.
And Maggie gave me that like death stare, and I was like, I'm sorry. Like, took him out, cleaned it again. Yeah. So that's what Rain does.
My magical age for potty training boys is 35 months. So you're close.
Okay. Yeah.
The month before their third birthday was always like they would just get it done.
Really?
That's good advice because we've been thinking about it and didn't really know.
Don't try too early. It's not worth it. Everybody's just frustrated.
Isn't it wild how much different boys and girls are in general?
Oh my gosh.
Just not even potty training, just in general, like the different things they do at different
Talking
times.
earlier. Yeah. No. And, after having all
Girls
of
are
the
smart.
boys, then we had the girl. And I still remember we were potty training my daughter, and we went to go buy panties. And my third son said, "Is that a real word? Did you just make that up?" He had never heard of
said
panties.
underwear.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so
he was like,
funny.
"I've never heard of this word." I'm like, No, it's a thing. Girls wear panties.
Kids are funny.
They are.
Well, let's go back. So I mentioned 10 schools. So
Yeah.
sounds like as a kiddo, obviously, you traveled a ton,
We did. Well, I wouldn't say we traveled a ton.
moved a ton.
We were very humble means. My dad is very budget savvy, cuts coupons, doesn't turn the heat up at their house. I'm always freezing, although I do the same thing to my kids now. But so definitely moved a lot, but probably like everybody, well, since you're a 90s boy, we weren't rich by any stretch of the imagination. So I learned hard work and the meaning of a dollar very early.
So would you say, talking about your parents, are they the greatest influence on what's made you, the successful person you are?
Oh, for sure. I can thank them for when I got married, I had zero debt. They taught me how to, do credit card or not do credit cards, how to budget, how to shop the sale rack. I still I don't buy anything full price. Like it hurts me to buy anything full price. And then my mom went to work when we went to college so that we wouldn't have school loans. So that was amazing. I mean, how many
God
people
bless.
that we work with every day?
Yeah.
I mean, the doctors I work
Hundreds
with.
of thousands.
How do you ever pay that off?
A lot of people don't.
Well, a
that's-
doctor will.
It's like a doctor's like
No,
buying
doctor
a
will.
business.
Yeah.
That's like buying a business.
Yes, but
But you're talking about people with undergrad degrees that have $100,000 and $200,000 in student
and they're
loan
making
debt.
50 grand a
200.
year. And
So yeah, I mean,
100
I may have saw one in the last couple little span, $200,000 of debt, and it was like, and there's no doctor coming.
That's wild.
It's
I mean, I just can't even imagine. And we've been trying to do the same thing for our kids so that they come out of school with no debt. And yeah.
Same. So I had student loan debt. So kudos to your mom
Same.
and dad.
Yeah.
My mom and dad's deal with us was they paid for everything up through St. X. I'm on a 5, as you know, boys.
Yeah.
And so it's everything they could to pay for it. And they were like, you're on your own
Mm-hmm.
for college. So, like you, I'm like, I want my kids not to, which I didn't have a ton of student loan debt, but I had some.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing that your mom did that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, and I went to Western, so I knew I had to go to a state school. We told our kids the same thing. Don't even look at the big ones unless you figure out how to pay for it with grades and everything else. And my kids are good students, but they're not going to, they're not getting a 36 on the ACT. But they paid for room and board. No, they paid for room and tuition, and then I had to cover food, and I didn't have a car. So I'd have to bum rides to Walmart, get my little food, eat my little cereal in there. But you know what? It was, everybody else be going to get food at the cafeteria. I'm like, I'll be fine. I'll eat my ramen. But
How many kids have you been through college? Or in college? Or
so I
been
have
through?
one that's graduated. He lives in Denver, works for Charles Schwab.
No.
Yep, he
There
went
you
to
go.
Murray. One tried college. It was not for him. He's a Jefferson County Sheriff's deputy.
It's awesome.
Yep, he works.
And that's okay.
Yeah, no, it's a perfect fit for him. He serves warrants and EPOs from 4 to midnight every night.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure he sees a lot.
He's in the mix.
Hey,
He sees a lot.
He's
yeah.
in the mix.
God bless his soul.
There have been a couple of places where he's like, I think you might know this person. And I'm like, oh, I think I do know that person.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And then I have one that's a junior at UK in engineering school, and then a senior, a sophomore, and an 8th grader at North Middle in high
Okay.
school. Yep.
So you guys, so you just that spread you just said was pretty narrow.
Yeah.
So you, when your youngest was born, how old was the oldest?
He was, let's see, he was 11.
10, 11? I was
11
saying.
years old.
Yep.
You're a stay-at-home mom?
Yeah, he was 10 actually. He was about to be 11. Yep, stay-at-home mom. People ask if we were trying for the girl. Yes, and we would have always had a lot of kids. Sorry, guys. Let me turn that off. Google is like stalking me right now. I don't know why. Google Voice. Always wanted a big family, but every time that the ultrasound said it's another boy, my husband said, we'll try again. I desperately wanted the girl, and the girl is amazing, and I love all my boys. We tried again, got the 5th boy. But yeah, a lot of time at home, a lot of time Greg was deployed or out in the field or working, or yeah, he was gone a lot.
Yeah. And you said something, so y'all found out each time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah,
no
I needed
surprises?
to know.
Oh,
No
you did?
surprises.
we waited with my youngest that we
Yeah,
just
we
had.
did. We waited.
Yeah.
We didn't know till he was born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
It was cool.
I feel like it's a surprise whenever you find out, right?
It is. It is. We waited, and
Did
each
you?
time. So it's funny. A funny story, off topic. So when Caroline was born, I think I've told this before, but my mom and my mother-in-law and all these people are in the room. There's like 8 people in the room.
Yeah. When she was born,
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah, this is wild. So
and your mom, like it's one thing to have her mom in
it was
there.
everybody, her
Okay.
sisters, and so the baby comes out,
Pre-COVID.
and my mom yells, "It's a boy!" And of course, you can imagine the rockets just.
Yes.
And the doctor says, if it's a boy, it's missing something. And of course, the rocket crashes. Caroline, Corin, I love you, but that
Yes,
moment,
yeah.
young 25-year-old Jesse.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
surprise was.
Oh,
That's
I
so
can't imagine.
funny.
Imagine that,
hurts.
that energy that went through the body to where it's like, "Wah." Oh.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
but I wouldn't trade him for the world. I literally,
No.
I literally
course.
like if you could tell me. No, I love my girls for sure.
And that's why I
Caroline's
didn't
so
want-
impressive.
I knew that I would
She's
always have a
stud.
moment of being like, wah, wah, because I wanted to experience being a mom of both. But I wouldn't trade them. They're amazing kids. They're so compassionate and giving and lovely. And I'm thankful for exactly what God gave me. But I needed that moment in the ultrasound room to be like, okay, it's another boy. I'm the only girl.
We've got well, Bo. So they're expecting their 6th. They had to tie you, and
Yeah.
they'll have. Well, we don't know yet, do we? We don't know. So currently they have 4 boys and a girl, so they'll
Okay.
find out. So we'll
Yeah.
see. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
So,
That's a podcast for itself right there.
Yeah.
but
It's fun.
but
I
y'all-
wouldn't do it any differently.
did y'all move around much with the kids?
So yes, so we're gluttons for punishment. So we moved to Fort Riley, Kansas 2 weeks after the towers fell. So all the Army bases were on major shutdown, so that was an adventure. We ended up in this converted, I think it had been office buildings that were like Custer era, literally, because Custer was at Fort Riley.
She's talking about General Custer.
No, I know. That's why I
Born in 95,
laughed.
that's why.
No.
Yeah, thank
Listen,
you.
Bob, I took plenty of history classes, okay? Got A's in all of them.
So we move into this house, most of that era, and kind of Highlands, St. Matthew lot didn't only have 2nd floor bathroom. That, that was a thing. And we had brown recluse spiders, bats, and ticks
In your house?
in the house, and we would find them in Sam's crib. So I go to housing, like, what do I have to do to get into the house?
Bats?
Yeah, bats.
I mean, they're all bad.
I mean,
I'm just like imagining,
recluses.
like,
Bats,
look, I mean, yes, but
Bats of those 3 is the least of my concerns. I can see the bat. That tick?
Exactly.
like
yeah,
the
and brown recluse spiders,
brown
because they
recluse?
kind of hide.
Yeah.
When they pulled our bed out to move us
Oh,
to the
don't.
next house, there were like 17 brown recluse
my
spiders.
No way.
Yeah, they were
Anybody
all
ever get
dead.
bit?
No, thank God.
How did you even sleep in the next house?
oh my God.
Well, so
I know,
I said, what do I have
bro.
to do to get another house? And they said, you got to get
Dude,
pregnant.
just
I said, no
burn it.
problem. I
Did
can
y'all
make
burn
that
it down?
happen.
Y'all just missed that. All right,
Yeah,
so let's
yeah.
bring this back.
Yeah.
She said, "How do I get another house?"
on post.
And she said,
They said, you got to have another baby. And I said, well, I can do that. So
bingo.
6 weeks later, I brought back the paper from the doctor and said, I'm pregnant. They
Bingo.
said, we'll we'll move you to another house. We had to move ourselves. But so we moved up the hill. The rumor was that our houses at Fort Riley were built for Fort Bragg, and the Fort Bragg houses were built for Fort Riley. So Fort Bragg's in North Carolina, warmer, temperate.
Oh, yeah.
The wind would blow through the electrical sockets.
Oh,
like
my gosh.
my curtains would blow because Fort Riley is so windy.
Yeah.
The coldest and the hottest I've ever been. But yeah, we ended up having, let's see, Greg went to Iraq in April of 2003. We had 2 kids then. He was gone for a full year because those guys didn't get to come home for leave. Because nobody knew what they were doing in those days. And then he came home for 10 months. While we were standing at the welcome home ceremony, the general said, and when you go back in 10 months, all the wives are like, excuse me, they're going back?
Oh, my Lord.
So they went back he left on Groundhog Day, which I thought was so very ironic, of 2005.
Oh, wow. That is cool.
And I had a 10-day-old baby. So, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was born 3 weeks early. I told and I'm getting into stuff. You guys truly are the funding fathers now. You're going to hear this. I begged her to strip my membranes at 36 weeks, 6 days. She said, don't ever tell anyone. Now I'm telling the whole world.
Here we go.
I don't even remember what her name was. He was born, no drugs, 6 pounds, 13 ounces of perfection with a little dimple. Yeah, and Greg left 10 days later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So then we moved to D.C.
Well, I want to ask real quick,
Yeah.
as a father, and that's kind of one of the relevance of our show. I know you're raising now, is that kid number 3? I'm sorry, at the time?
Yep.
Kid number 3, 10-day-old. So obviously mom's got her work cut out for her.
Yeah.
But let's pivot that, though, to him. I'm sitting, as soon as you said that, I'm thinking about my daughter that was born, and 10 days later, I got to leave her for 10 months. Like,
He was gone full year that time, yeah.
a full year. Like, I'm going to miss
Devastated.
The first
her
year.
first year of her life.
Yep. You should see the photos of when.
I'm sitting there trying to process that, and
Yeah.
it breaks my heart thinking that I would miss a first. Like, and that's a kudos, and that is the kudos to our service people, our military. Like, that's why I'm always like, I didn't bring my military hat, or red, white, and blue, but I'm always wearing like what those people go through,
Yeah.
and they sacrifice
People
and they
don't
give up.
realize it.
They don't realize. They just think, oh, they're in the military, whatever. No, that man just lost a year. The first year,
Yeah.
he didn't even get to know He didn't even get to know, man.
Our second son didn't have a birthday with Greg until his 4th birthday. He was gone
That's
every
crazy.
single birthday.
But anyhow, hey,
Yeah.
that's just as kudos to these
you.
men and women.
Well, and
for the men and women that serve our country. Listen, I'm telling you right now, kudos to you. Thank you so much. I didn't have the courage to do it, but we thank you. We want you to be acknowledged on this because that shit is real, man.
Amen.
Well, have I ever told you guys that both my parents were in the military? Did you know that?
Yeah.
I didn't
So
know that.
yeah, my mom was the chief in the
Yeah, he's a
Navy
military
for
brat.
20 years.
Okay.
I was actually born on the naval base in Portsmouth, Virginia.
Yeah.
And we lived in like 7 states before I was 2 years old.
Yeah.
And then my dad was in the Marines.
Okay.
And then he got hurt and was on disability or whatever. But like,
Yeah.
I literally told an agent yesterday who, ironically, she's in North Carolina because we lived in Greenville, and saved her on a deal because we could do a bridge loan and whatever. But she said like they do a lot of VA, and I told her like there's no better honor that I have as a loan officer than to serve veterans. I'm like that just for me personally. Like it's the most rewarding thing that I get to do because those people sacrifice so much.
Well, and the criminal thing is when you have real estate agents and sellers alike,
We talked about this on the podcast.
Yeah.
We did.
Kills
Who
me.
want to rip veterans of their ability.
Well, they don't want to take. Yeah, they're pre-approval. Can they go? I had one comment one time like, can they not go conventional? I said,
Why would
I
they?
said, why? I said, why do you want them to?
Yeah.
I said, it's a great buyer. I'm like, why do you want them to go conventional? What's wrong? Well, no. You're missing the point. They
misconceptions.
earned
Right.
Yeah.
the right for this VA loan. anybody can go, no, not anybody can go conventional, but my point to the agent, and I was like, no, we're rewarding this individual.
Yeah.
Like they get 100% financing, a super low rate, no funding. This one had no funding fee.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I had
Which
to I literally educated the listing agent. But now, and I did it in a nice manner, but I was actually kind of offended though. I truly was, and I kind of had to like put my big boy pants on and not like kind of be like somewhat condescending because I was so offended that they're like, they didn't take time to think about what they were saying.
Well,
like,
it's because they don't know better.
Right.
Because
Well,
some
and
people
that's
have a
fine too,
misconception.
right.
Yeah,
To
I'm
your
not taking
point-
it
They
up
do
for
have the
them.
misconception.
To your point too, if they didn't have a funding fee, that means that they have some level of disability up
Correct.
to a certain point.
And it can't be just disability from the military. It has to be combat related.
Yes.
Because my husband has
Correct.
that. And so, yeah, we don't have a
Yes.
funding fee. So, yeah.
So not only did they serve our country, but they were harmed in doing so.
Correct.
Like they
Yeah.
put their life, their body, all that on the line
Right.
in the span of doing that. And instead of going, wow, like we've got 5 offers, but this person served our country and they put their life on the line so that we can do what we're doing every single day. But it's not about that.
It's about this right here. It's about this
and
whole
that's
thing,
what
right?
frustrates me about
it
that.
is. But I'll give a shout out to my boy Nick, veteran closing right now at the closing table.
There you go.
heck yeah.
Didn't get to be there because I wanted to join this podcast. But shout out to Nick. Congratulations
Heck
on your
yeah.
new home and your VA loan,
Yeah.
baby.
Let's go.
Thank you for
Let's
serving
go.
our country.
Thank you, Nick.
Seriously.
No,
Let's go.
the VA benefit is huge. I mean,
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It really
it's
is.
awesome.
Well, let's circle back. So you're moving to DC with kid 3.
With Kid 3, yep. And we briefly did a hiatus in Huntsville, Alabama for a couple months. Greg went from
Huntsville,
being a tanker patrolling the streets of Baghdad to the business side of the Army. So he went into acquisition and project management. So he had to do some training in Alabama, and he said, I'll just go. And I was like, oh, hell no, you've been gone for a year. We're going to go with you. So we shoved everybody in a little like corporate apartment and explored Huntsville. So that would have been 2006.
Is that your first minivan?
I had a minivan with the second.
You did?
Those Odysseys are awesome.
Let me tell you something. We have
They are cool.
Hey, the sliding doors.
We
Like,
don't even need our Odyssey anymore, and we bought another one.
oh, I'm telling you, I've told Shelly Cronin many times. You ready to go to something else? And she's like, and
It's
lose
so
my sliding
handy.
doors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about your stupid teenagers opening doors into other people's
Or
cars.
your silly little kids opening up. And
Well, I don't have those anymore, but even teenagers don't pay attention.
No.
But yeah, so we moved to from Huntsville into DC. We lived in a house there, and it was like Fort Belvoir was like kind of part of this new privatization of Army housing. So we had a house that was like above a Starbucks, but I want to say it was like 18 steps to the first level, where we actually lived. And
with a bunch of
that was
kiddos.
awful. So we moved to another house on Post, and we were sitting in the living room, and I hear something. I'm like, babe, that sounded like a gunshot. He was like, no, it was just fireworks. I'm like, no, we had a drive-by shooting in front of our house on Fort Belvoir. Some kind of lover's quarrel.
Oh, wow.
So I said, that's it. We're moving off Post. So we moved to Lake Ridge, Virginia, which is like a suburb of Woodbridge, which is where that pipe bomber was just arrested.
Oh,
He was
really?
from Woodbridge. I was like, oh, that's wild. And that was our first home buying experience. That was back when USAA would assign you an agent. It was a horrible experience. She didn't know what she was doing at all, barely spoke English, which I'm glad that she could help someone else in her language, but it was difficult for us because we didn't know what we were doing.
Right.
And then somehow we fumbled our way through it. And that was like our first home buying experience. And that was when our first time we took Financial Peace University, because buying a house, you got to grow up. Like, you got to figure out how to actually pay your bills. And that's one thing about the military, for all the good. Sometimes I think it can kind of stunt people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many people, you drive up and down Army housing and everybody's got brand new cars they can
Yep.
barely afford with big music systems in it. And you're like, ugh. But that was when we were like, shit, we got to get our act together. We got 4 kids. We got a house that we're paying for. And that, I feel like, was a big stepping stone in us. What is it Dave Ramsey says? If you don't tell your money where to go, it'll just go.
Yep.
And we figured it out. So we lived there for 4 years. And when we moved, we bought in 2008. We moved in 2012.
Oh, wait.
Great time to buy and sell.
Horrible.
Great time.
VA loan that Greg refinanced. And so we had to bring $40,000 to the table. Had no idea how we were going to do it. Discover gave us a personal loan.
Oh my God.
We were like, we can't rent this thing. But we first thought we'll rent it. But I'm like, he's still deployable, all the things. How am I going to manage a rental from Fort Knox
With
6 kids
six
now?
kids. Yeah.
No way.
1,700 square foot house with 6 kids in it. We had 3 bedrooms. We had the boys stacked in double bunk beds. Abby had her own room. We were in a room, and Daniel was in a closet that was, it was so tiny. We found a little tiny pack and play for him to be. We got very creative. But yeah, I'm like, we can't rent this thing. I just don't. The deck was 30 years old. I'm like, somebody's going to die on this deck, and we're going to get sued.
Yeah.
So we sold it. Tried to negotiate the commission at the time, and the agent was like, nope, not going to do it. Fine. But yeah, we moved to Louisville. We kicked around living in E-Town, Radcliffe. I'm like, ugh, just not where I wanted to be. My parents live in Norton Commons. Turned out really, really well. Let me back up. I grew up in Jefferson County, so I understood the Jefferson County school system, all of that stuff. But we were going to live with my parents till we figured out what we were going to do, put the kids in school based on their address. I had 4 kids going to 4 different schools. And my husband was like, this is ridiculous. Like, well, how are we going to do this? You're not going to go to any PTA meetings, any sports, nothing. So he said, let's go to Oldham County. I went out kicking and screaming. I was like, Oldham County is fake Louisville. This is not Louisville. And bought our house in Hillcrest and bought it sight unseen. Which is,
What year was that?
Also bananas.
2012.
It was in 12. Yeah.
Yep. The only house we could afford in Hillcrest, but knew we wanted to be in Hillcrest. And the agent that we hired had tried to sell it to the same house to a client the year before and lost out on it. He was like, it's a great house. You should buy it. $424 in Hillcrest. Can you imagine?
In 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we bought it. I never loved it, which is so like first world problems, but I just never loved it. It was a great house. We love Hillcrest. Oldham County has been wonderful for our family. But yeah, we bought it in 2012 for $424, and the whole time I was looking for another house. The whole
Day
time.
one.
Yeah, yeah. It was a great house. It was great, but we had to like.
It's great. I was looking for a house day one.
Day one.
Great house.
First night I'm
like,
sleeping.
it's just not.
Zillow.
Oh, I.
But it
used
didn't
to
have
stalk
Brown
Zillow.
Recluse. It
It
didn't
didn't.
have
It
ticks.
was a mansion compared to. Literally compared to DC, it was a mansion.
Mm-hmm.
So wah, it had 2-car garage. I'm like, we're such babies. But yeah, we stuck to our budget, paid everything off, got the $40,000 loan paid off. I think we had 5 years to pay it off. We paid it off in 4.
Which kudos to you guys, because we were both living in that period of time, working. He was like 16. But we saw so many clients who went through that same thing. You know, it wasn't your fault that the market did what it did, right? You were in an area where you really saw the downturn, right? We were insulated because we have so many major, Ford, UPS, all those places. We saw a downturn, but like 5%. You all saw like 20 to 30%, which is why that happened.
Yeah.
But long story short, so many clients gave their houses back. So many clients were short selling. So many clients were just letting it go. So the fact that y'all took a personal loan that you carried with you, like kudos to you and Greg, because that was not the easy thing to do with one income,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. One income. Like there was no other income coming in.
Right.
Literally. Like when we moved to Louisville, Daniel was 3 months old. So like there was nothing else that I could do with 6 kids. And at that time we had decided to homeschool for a couple years. One of my kiddos has some learning differences now, they call it. And they wanted to hold him back. And I thought, are you going to hold him back in first grade till he's 18? Because he's dyslexic. Like he's not going to learn to read the way you're teaching him. So I was teaching him at home and got him to a good reading level and then put him back in school when we moved here. But there just wasn't, it would have cost me a fortune to have them all in daycare. You know, there was no way.
That many kids in, yeah.
Exactly.
You couldn't have made enough money.
No. And we knew so many people in DC who had interest only, who had arms that were ballooning, who walked away and just moved to a rental, and the judgmental part of me was like, how could you do that? But the other part of me was like, I don't blame you.
Well,
what are you going to do?
Worse than that, I say worse. There were people who were buying their next place because of the way you could do, CISA, stated income, stated asset, NINA's, no income, no asset. They'd buy their new place and let the other one go. So they'd be like, oh, new bank, we got you. and they'd
I
let the
didn't
other
know
one
you could
go.
do that.
Well, yeah,
Wow.
because you could state what your income was, so you could literally say, I make enough money to qualify for both. Back then, you could do no money down on about anything.
Wow.
So it was wild, but no, kudos, and I'm serious. I'm
wild.
not just saying that. Kudos
Yeah.
for y'all for doing that. Given, I mean, that $40,000 personal loan payment was probably several thousand a month.
That's it.
wasn't
It
cheap.
wasn't
heavy.
small. No,
Yeah.
And we just worked it into the budget, and I cooked a lot of meals. We didn't go out to eat very much, and that in some ways, I remember taking Sam for his first college visit to UK, and I was like, bro, these granite countertops in the dorm room.
Wild.
We talk about
Luxury
that.
apartments.
We both have freshmen in college.
Yeah.
And the boys are living in Lexington in that
Yeah.
lap of luxury. And I remember, I'm sure Western was the same way. We talked about UK
Yes.
in the cinder block dorm rooms.
Yes.
Like what?
I said to Sam, I'm like, buddy, the very first house we had at Fort Riley before we could get on post, we moved in September. Well, the normal PCS season, so permanent change of station, is summertime. So we moved in September because of having the baby, blah, 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 blah. And so we couldn't find anything. You're in K-State is in Manhattan, Kansas. So you've had all the college kids move in, all the Army people have moved in. There was nothing. We found a single wide trailer outside of Manhattan, Kansas that has a Walmart. That's it. Wasn't even a 24/7 Walmart. We lived there for 3 weeks, before we got a call that we could move on post. But I went straight home from that college visit. I was like, Sam, look at these pictures. Like, we lived in a single wide. There was no granite. There was formica. There was carpet, blue shag carpet in the bathroom.
Carpet in the bathroom is
It's
insane.
nasty.
work.
It was
That is
normal- it was
so
normal for a
like,
long-
when you think about like the mold and just all
The urine.
I'm gonna say the pee.
Well, I'm talking about like all of the just it's sitting
Oh,
because
yeah.
every so often you're taking a shower,
You
where
get out
so
of the
like
shower,
you're
you
just
just
wet
water off,
feed
no
and like
doubt.
which also just like thinking about that
It's so gross.
makes me like
It's disgusting.
They said it had a garden tub. The garden tub was a picture of a garden on the back of the tub.
That is good marketing.
Yeah. They gave us a key to the tornado shelter
Wow.
that we would have to run to if we put a backpack on and run.
Run
yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
And so you nicknamed your dog Toto.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, we didn't have a dog for a long time. I told my kids I'm not getting anything that I have to
Take care of.
wipe any more butts.
I was gonna say, well, you got a dog now, Pepper.
We do.
Very
Pepper.
special, right?
We love her dearly. She's a piece of work. But we got her in 2019 on April Fool's Day. The kids thought we were joking.
That's funny.
But yeah, I cried for like 3 weeks because I'd lost freedom. I was still at home, and I was like, I now can't just go do whatever I want because I gotta let this damn dog out.
No doubt.
So how old were you? How old were you when you moved to Louisville?
2012, so I was born in 79, so 33.
You feel 79 as well?
Yeah.
Hey, let's go.
Will
January.
you say next May?
I'm small town.
He talks about
So
being
That's why I said I've only been here 24 years. I grew up in Lebanon, Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
Marion County, a little small town.
That's where Brittany Higdon. That's her dad's Jimmy Higdon
Oh,
that
I
ran
know.
the grocery store.
I know Jimmy
yeah.
Higdon.
So Brittany lives in our neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Pretty
Oh,
cool.
Higdon's food town.
Yeah, no, I love her stories.
Mm-hmm.
She has the best stories of like coming to Louisville to buy sodas because they could get them cheaper, like at Kroger, and then go sell them at the grocery store in Lebanon.
Oh,
Isn't that funny?
That's insane.
Because Kroger or Walmart would have these huge, where it would be a quarter a piece or whatever.
Yeah, right. We didn't have anything like that. We
Yeah.
had Pick Pack.
Yeah.
Higdon's
Big-
food
Big
town.
Pack.
Oh yeah,
That's
baby.
so
Oh,
funny.
Ted
yeah.
was also rich growing up, so he
I
didn't
was
know.
not rich.
He didn't know about country.
we lived a nice middle class.
life.
Very,
Okay.
yeah. Needless to say, that's another day, another story for sure. But yes, I grew up with amenities
A
for
silver
sure.
spoon in
Silver-
your
I
mouth.
did not. It was definitely not a
She
silver.
said it.
it was like
It was not
bronze or
It
copper
was not
maybe.
a silver spoon. It was not
Platinum,
that.
maybe.
We were not that level, but
Gold.
I didn't go without. I'll say that.
Okay.
Okay. I lived in the same house. My mom still lives in the same house that I was born in. So I lived in one home the whole time.
Yeah.
So it was real easy, simple. I mean, it's one high school, so
Yeah.
pretty path, and then that's. But I was curious. So and then I went straight. That's why I moved to Louisville. I started in the mortgage business.
Okay.
So that's why I was curious. So you were at the time moved to Louisville. So when did you actually become a real estate
Okay.
agent?
And
What year?
I definitely want to get into that. But you know what's crazy to me is my husband grew up in Halfway, Kentucky, which is in Allen County. I don't think his family got indoor plumbing until the 70s.
No way.
Yes. Isn't that wild?
That's wild. I don't.
That puts things in perspective. I thought I had a bad with
again.
my
Okay, then I'm again. All right, I'm sorry. I'm Silver Spoon.
No, I think he was.
Where's Daddy's in the outhouse?
So he was born in 73. So I think at that point they had indoor plumbing, but I don't think it was that far from then, which is insane. And they had well water until I remember making Sam's bottles with bottled water because I was a little nervous about well water back, in his bottles.
Blame you.
Yeah.
I don't blame
you. And I'm sure it was fine, but I just, he was a baby and Sam was born in 01. So, anyways, no. So.
No, that was a good pivot there.
That blows my mind that,
I would not have done well in conditions. Just gonna
no, and I even showed a house. Gosh, I don't even remember where I was. Somewhere between here and Lexington, I showed a house, and it was on septic. And I was like, "So where's the tank?" And they were like, "What tank?" I'm like, "How's it on septic?" And they were like, "Oh no, we just blow the waste back behind the holler there." And I guess you just tell your kids not to play.
That's still a thing.
It still happens. Yeah.
That's still a thing.
I was like, "Come again?"
Yeah. No, we've had a couple of clients that were looking at properties in the last year.
Wild. Anyways, okay, back to real estate. So in 2019, my oldest was graduating from high school. My youngest was finally going to kindergarten. I guess he was he may have been in first or second grade, but I had been, to get them through preschool, they all went to St. John's United Methodist. Well, the three youngest. And to put them in preschool, there was no way I could afford it. It wasn't in our budget. So I would sub or do anything I could do to get a scholarship / get money to earn towards that. Like I would work and they wouldn't pay me. They'd just put it right towards his tuition or their tuition. But I realized, and St. John's is not different than anywhere else, my kids were getting paid more to walk dogs in the neighborhood than I was at the preschool. And I was like, this is crazy. A, we need to pay our preschool teachers more. B,
yes.
It's insane that my kids are getting paid like $30 an hour to walk dogs in the neighborhood. So, and my kids have always been little entrepreneurs. Like they've walked almost every dog in Hillcrest, I swear, or at least picked up their poo. And so I was like, I would really like to have some independence. There were situations within our house where I was like, I want to make my own money. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll try nursing school. Bellarmine has a great, I have my degree in sociology, maybe give it a try. So I started taking, some prerequisites at, JCTC. Do they even call it that anymore?
I'm not. Yeah, maybe.
It might be the 90s version.
No, I've heard people reference it.
We called it JCC back in the 90s.
That's true.
Now it's
Okay.
JCTC.
So maybe it is JCTC. Yeah. And was liking it. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not as crusty as I thought I was. Passed chemistry with an A+. And got into the Bellarmine Accelerated program, but everybody said if you're going to do 1 year, you might as well move out of your house. Like you're not going to be able to take care of your family. Okay. So went and got into this 2-year program, which is also accelerated, but it would start in May of 2020. Obviously, this is June of 2019, and I'm like, oh, that's a while away. Maybe I'll try a real estate class. And I was like, ooh, this is way better than considering emptying bedpans. That's me, sorry. And so I took the class. I started in June, got my license in September of 2019, and joined the price group at Keller Williams. I have 6 kids because if 1 kid's good, 6 kids is probably better. Yeah. And I had an agent friend pull up who the best teams were in town, and price group was way up there, and Withrow group was up there. So I knew I needed to be in KW at some point, somewhere. Jimmy was up there, Jimmy Welch, and joined the price group, got the best education I could have ever gotten from them. Their systems for teaching you how to be an agent were fantastic. And so come March 2020, and we're starting to hear about this little...
I was going to say, can you imagine if you would have stuck out the nursing stuff, like what your year that year would have looked... I mean, oh my God.
Yeah, no, it would have been insane. Oh, and rewind. So I got my license in September. I had my first closing. Actually, it was December 12th, 2019. So 6 years ago today. That's
really?
Crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
That's
wild.
That's awesome. Happy anniversary.
Yeah, thank you. I need to call them.
You know something, I want to circle back real
Yeah.
quick as a message to young real estate agents, or just not even young, just someone that's in the game that's been kind of going back and forth, that think they can do it on their own. They think they can run their own team. They don't need any mentorship. I want to go back to what you just said. I mean, as a new realtor, like you said, the Price Group, that they mentored you, they gave you the tools. I mean, you're 6 years in the industry and you're a killer. That's not normal. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's not normal that you are one of the top agents in a decent-sized city, and you've only been doing it for 5.
The top solo agent in Louisville.
She is the top solo agent in Louisville. And
By volume.
I want to think,
correct yourself.
but think about that for 1 second. Like, that's just not normal. So I want to go back to that, like, as a message too, like, that value that you didn't just go out and try to like learn it online. You actually, no, I'm going to go learn from a successful group. I looked up the groups. I took the effort to find out who's successful.
What's the statistic like? Is it 90% fail within the first 5 years? Something like
know.
80%.
It's high.
I don't know how.
It's either 80 or 90%.
But I don't understand the ones that don't join a team. Why would you not join a team to start? How are you going to learn? Because I remember sitting in my initial like onboarding meeting with KW with a bunch of other agents, and somebody saying like, you know, oh, such and such wouldn't hire me. And I looked at one of them and I was like, I wouldn't hire me. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, why would, and until you have that background, why would you expect your mom, your cousin, your best friend to hire you? You don't know what you're doing at all.
No, I think what happens is, we all know there's a lot of teams out there that aren't giving that type of, they're a team, but they're not, there's no class. They're not giving the tools.
But if you're a brand new agent, you got to be on a team that's
Which is why I wanted to
teach
circle
you.
back to that, because I
Yes.
think if someone's hearing that and they're a newer agent and they're like, man, how is she the top solo agent? I'm circling around. It's because you got to surround yourself with people that know what they're doing. They can
Yes.
teach you. They can learn. We collaborate. We've talked about this as the Funding Fathers, as North Point Bank, St. Matthews. Like, we're elite at what we do because of, yes, we have talent, but we have tools, programs. We have each other. We have brainstorming. We like putting yourself in that environment of success is vital.
100%.
100%. And that's why I wanted to point on that, because it was awesome that you said
Well,
that.
so after about a year, so I was Rookie of the Year for KW my first
Let's
year.
go.
Thank you. Well, and the crazy thing is, I finally
Straight
found
to
the
it.
house that I wanted in Hillcrest, and so we put an offer in February. Well, our inspections were on Daniel's birthday in 2019, or 2020, February 26, 2020. So the whole world's starting to hear about this little thing called COVID, and we're like, what have we done?
We were flying home when the first case hit Louisville.
Fine.
Literally, we flew through the Louisville airport. The first case hit Louisville.
Well, and what we paid for our house, I was like, oh my gosh, like we made a huge mistake. We're not
now you're up.
The market's gonna crash.
Yes, I was like, this thing is going to be like a
Like a little casino ticket.
albatross around our neck, and we were buying contingent. So I was like, crap, I got to sell
Contingent.
my house.
Did you know what that word meant at the time?
Barely.
Well,
I didn't know. The agent had to call me and say, are you going to release your contingency? And I was like, oh, am I supposed to do that?
Well, that's a true story. There were agents that were brand new in COVID, and when COVID ended, when they started having to go contingent offers, they didn't even know what that meant, because there was no such thing as.
Yeah, there's agents today that don't know
It's
it.
I was
true.
going to say, I literally stopped.
Well, I'm just saying, but it was
Contingent on
but that's
what?
it was a real thing. It was like contingent. Like, what are we talking? Like, we got to try to find ways to buy this house. Like, what? I mean, like, what are we? Like, what's happening here? Like, you got to sell your house
Yeah.
to
I've been
buy this
brushing
house.
up on my repair requests because I think we all got a little crusty on that.
How
too.
funny is that?
Yeah.
They didn't exist.
No. Like, I mean,
Pray
you
for
were
death.
like, not only will I not ask for repairs, I will give you my firstborn child and my kidney
And I'm
to
actually,
get this
and
house.
I'm gonna give you a little extra money on top of what you want for it. How about that?
Exactly.
Would you like that, Mr. Seller?
Which, you know what? That's when VA loans really got to be a good thing, especially if like I had a VA buyer that was putting a significant amount of money down, or could put a significant amount of money down. And I said, this is beautiful, because if our appraisal comes in
Yep.
low, you can shift part of your down payment and we can pay that appraisal gap. And so that was a beautiful part of having a VA loan.
yeah.
I was like, we're the most attractive buyers ever, because
Yeah.
you have the money.
Yeah.
Anyways, but we put that on. I mean, our house is probably worth double now.
Oh, I mean, I would easily say that. And given the time, this is back that the old story of real estate. Everybody, I saw somebody on the internet yesterday talking about how we're getting ready to go into a bust. Guys, if you look back 100 years of real estate,
Yeah.
and you track it, literally it wins every year but 2.
Jared James, he had that graph. I wish I had that. I need to find that. It is literally, I think, maybe 2.
There's 2 years.
One,
and,
yeah.
And here's the thing: 2020. If you asked 100 people, people are overpaying, people are waiving appraisals, kidneys, all these things, and you look 5 years later, your house is worth double. Now you all probably done some work to it and things.
100%.
But the thing
we've
is,
redone the kitchen and redone the
and
basement.
it just double, but yes.
Yeah.
But to your point though,
Yeah.
real estate is the single greatest investment that you can literally buy if you have a seasoned professional that's helping you make the right decisions.
now the ones that got hammered were the ones that when after COVID was pretty much over and we were still in that environment, right?
Yes.
Even those people, Chad, even in Kentucky, you're seeing 3 to 5.
Well, yeah,
They're still doing well
Kentucky.
now,
Well,
they still own it.
there were a few though that I know crossed my desk that was $80,000-$90,000 over.
That's just stupid.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was just But finally, people started wising up. Like as these rates started to go up, I was like, we got to start wising up right now, right?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I will never, as an agent, I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. Like, I'm going to tell you, like, you're overpaying.
Yeah.
And if you think you're going to be here for 5 years, that's great. But if the Army moves you, you may have to bring $40,000 to the table. And that's when people say, you'll never lose in real estate. Well, you might,
Yeah.
but you'll learn from it. And it taught, we grew up and I truly don't believe we would be in the house we have now had we not lost $40,000 on that other house. We saved, we budgeted, we bought another house, we invested in that house, and we were able to sell at a profit and buy the next house. But had we not taken the chance, moved to Hillcrest, taken the loan, then we wouldn't be where we are now.
Yeah.
So
you were with the Price Group for
about a year, and then I decided that I needed to just mix things up a little bit. Decided to go on Jimmy's team. Adored Jimmy Welch. Shout out to Jimmy. And
Jimmy's a good dude, man.
He's awesome, and I learned so much from him about how to be a team owner, how to be a person in the community, how to work my sphere. And he knew going in that I wasn't going to stay with him long term. And we both cried when I left the team, which love Jimmy. That's when I left the team, it was because most of my deals were coming from my sphere, and I didn't need to keep working Zillow leads, which were fantastic.
Yeah.
And I mean, back like Jimmy always says, it was like, what's that old like fishing in a barrel, like Zillow leads. I mean, you just talk to somebody once and you're closing a deal. That was insane. Those days were insane.
When they were high quality. I feel
They
like
were.
it's changed a lot since then, but they were at the beginning.
I could look at my CRM right now and show you the ones that I basically showed them 2 houses and closed through a Zillow lead. Yeah. It's insane.
Also, can we, with Jimmy,
I know.
I'm like that whole, with his health.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I don't know if you watch this or not, but I think I can speak for everybody here. Like, I'm so glad that you're still here with us.
Yes, sir.
100%.
That was,
And one thing about Jimmy is I don't know anybody in Louisville that if you say Jimmy Welch, they don't smile and say that's a great guy.
That's a good point.
That's a true story.
It is.
Yeah, everybody loves Jimmy.
It
And
is.
there aren't a lot of people in this industry that you can say that about.
Yeah.
No, that's bingo.
Yeah.
And his journey to health, I mean,
Yeah.
it's unreal to hear that story, so.
And Jimmy's a lot like me and you, I think, of like, you say, oh, like I grew up on Summerfield. He's like, oh, I worked with such and such, and I was in the office of Four Seasons Builders and blah, 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 blah. And you're like, he can always make a connection and turn it back around.
Well, you talk about, you go back to Lakeside when we met, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was a probably 14 and 15-year-old stud running the
Not exactly how I remember it,
but
Lakeside, is that where the rich people went?
actually, that's where if you
I was
lived
just
in
curious.
the
It
neighborhood,
sounds fancy.
it was like $300 to be a member back then. But Heather was working as a lifeguard, and so if you got in trouble, they'd blow the whistle and they'd sit you down.
I'm a lifeguard.
Heather used to sit me out all the time.
I can see that.
Jesse felt like the rules didn't necessarily apply to him.
so nothing's changed.
I was gonna say, I hope Shelley Cronin's not
That's going to
listening right now.
resonate at our Thursday sales meeting.
nothing
I
has
can't
changed.
wait to that. I can't wait to that bit. It's the internet.
Edit, delete.
Internet exploding
thanks,
right
Heather.
here.
Thanks, Heather. All right, the show's over. But seriously, Heather was a
amazing.
lifeguard. This is great. Heather was a lifeguard.
Thank you, Heather.
And it's funny because Heather, you graduated from lifeguard into the office, right?
I
Is that
did,
kind of
yeah.
the progression?
Yeah, and and I've put it on my Instagram, Facebook, like Lakeside was an amazing place to work. I don't know anybody who didn't love working there.
Oh, I love working at Lakeside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was hard and they worked our butts off. I mean, when my kids are like, I worked 25 hours this week. I'm like, I used to like do overtimes at
Yeah.
Lakeside, just to 45, 50
Like it was
hours.
2 days.
Yeah. And I mean, lifeguarding is one of the most boring jobs you'll ever have, but also rewarding.
I loved it.
Oh, well, and Lakeside is like, I'm sure whatever little pool you worked at
He was at
was.
the Lebanon. He was at the Lebanon
Let's pick a size indoor pool, brand new. Let's go.
Probably the Lebanon Country Club.
I know, right? But, you know, Lakeside's an old converted rock quarry. Like, it's,
Such a cool.
it was like Baywatch of Louisville.
spot.
Yeah,
You know,
for
I
sure.
mean, we thought we were at least.
We did think we were.
So I was going to
now
ask
that
if
you
Jesse
went
ever tried to pull a Sandlot. Just
No,
like,
of course not.
like,
Forever.
I'm gonna drown.
It's my nephew's favorite movie, but no, absolutely
Oh, it's
not.
such a good movie.
So-
Killing me, Smalls.
Yeah. Back to Lakeside real
Yes,
quick. 'Cause
yeah.
I worked there as well. I was never a lifeguard.
Yeah.
I was
He couldn't cut it.
concessions. I was concessions. Well, the
I'm
cool kids
kidding.
worked in concessions.
It's
then,
true.
And then
That's not
babysitting,
cool.
believe it or not. And we shared a boss because
Yeah,
my boss,
yeah.
because babysitting was something was carved out for aerobics.
Yep.
You know, moms or dads would bring their kiddos. Sometimes they'd cheat and they'd leave, which Mary Graves. So we shared a boss. So I was going to ask you, because I saw on your Facebook, Mary
Yep.
Graves was a very instrumental part of your life.
For sure. And you know, I think a lot of people were scared of her. I'm probably a little still scared of her if I'm honest. But she didn't suffer fools. And the same with real estate. Like we're dealing with people's lives in a different way than we're dealing with them at Lakeside. Cause it's truly life or death when you're talking about swimming pools. And, you know, people died while we worked at Lakeside.
You said two. You had two.
A guy died from a heart attack. And then do you remember there was an exchange student who died? I was working bingo and I was asking for popcorn from concessions. I'm like, concessions, I need more popcorn. And they're like, Heather, like there's a drowning. And I'm like, oh, sorry. But bingo's important, you know, family bingo. And so you just don't realize the gravity of what that is. But in many ways, real estate is too. You're dealing with family's biggest asset. You're dealing with, you know, if they move in and the AC goes out and now they don't have any money to fix it, you know,
Just had
we
that
need the
happen.
systems. We need to understand how. And I think when I worked with a branding person to come up with my branding, my tagline. Our tagline is honoring your journey home, which sometimes I've had one client tell me what I actually thought too. Kind of sounds like a funeral home. It's not a funeral home.
That didn't cross my mind.
Okay,
Me
good.
either.
He was like, "Is this a funeral home?" I was like, "Listen,
Come
what
on
I
home, my
understand
child.
is the gravity of what we're doing every day, and not every move is happy, but we want to make it as easy and as honoring as we can." And I felt like that's what Mary just took everything so seriously in a way that really struck me. She always had a system for everything. Everything ran smoothly. She's a great boss.
Now, from
She
Lakes,
didn't blow smoke up your ass, that's for sure.
No, neither she nor Brian.
No,
But
and
I
she
love
never
Brian
told me
too.
I was awesome or anything,
Yeah,
but
I never won any awards. So from there,
no, me neither.
So from Lakeside, so obviously Lakeside, American Eagle, then college.
So I hated the bubble in the winter. So I would
blame
work
you.
at American Eagle in the
The
winter.
bubble, for perspective, guys, is literally when she says a bubble. Lakeside had a bubble
That
that
went
they
over
laid
like a
over.
dome.
They blew it up. Yeah.
It's different now. Now it's nice and it has like a
building.
structure
Yeah.
to it.
It's pretty
But
cool.
back then it was loud. It's still pretty loud, but it was so loud and hot, and I just couldn't do it in the winter. So I would work at American Eagle in the winter. And I had a boss. Her name was Cammie. I don't remember her last name, but I mean, she was strict. Like, if there was, you know, you see like where stores will lower their little thing at 9 or 8:45. She's like, no, we close at 9. And if there's still people in here, we don't lower it. Even if people would still come in at 9:05, she'd be like, that's okay. There's still people shopping. Every jean was folded, everything. And those standards spoke to me. And it's not my natural bent to have those. It's my bent to have a high standard. It's not my bent to put it in writing and have it written out for people. So I learned a lot from those people to have the opening procedures, the closing procedures, you know, everything, so that you can have employees do the same thing for you at a high level.
Well, and I think, you know, for you going from starting as a lead agent, right, to being a sphere agent, I think for you, taking the things Mary taught you, taking the things the lady at American Eagle taught you, and being that expert. And then so when a client needs, their AC goes out of there, like you're their wealth of knowledge.
Yes.
And I think that's what sets agents, who are just kind of in the mix of and that's the same thing with us. But people are in traffic. I say we call it traffic, and you get out of traffic and you're in the HUV lane. The HUV lane is being that expert because people call you with, hey Heather, who's your insurance agent? Hey Heather, who's your financial advisor? Hey Heather, I need a roof.
Yeah.
And so when you become that expert to that client, then they're more likely to pass you on to other people and all the things.
Well, I was always in the HUV lane because I had so many kids.
You're still, you're still in the HUV lane. You're still in the HUV lane.
I really wanted a cop to pull me over in DC so that I could just be like, I got all these kids, everybody wave. But I never got pulled over. But anyways, I was at book club last week, and we send out these home equity report boxes. We sent out 700 last year. We're going to do another 850 to 900 this year. So it basically has, what we're guessing is their value of their house based on an algorithm. It's not what we're coming up with. And then, a bunch of useful information. And so I was at book club. All these women in my book club got one, and they were like, we're always going to call the people that you recommend because they've been so good to us with fixing our roof or whatever. And we loved the box, and it was so informative. My husband loved the box, blah, blah, blah. And that just warmed the cockles of my cold, dead heart. No, I'm kidding.
That's awesome.
That, people see me as that expert and a connector. I love connecting people. Like, let me hook you up with Jesse because he knows he has unique products that other banks don't have or other lenders don't have. Or, my roofer is one of the only roofers I know that'll just come out and fix a small problem because a lot of roofers won't call you back.
Yeah.
And he was another crazy story. Our roof kept leaking. It leaked and leaked and leaked. And so we finally got somebody. We had people would stand on the roof for an hour with a hose trying to get it to recreate because it would just keep leaking. Guy comes out, says, we'll replace the roof. It'll fix it. He replaces the roof, insurance claim, blah, blah, blah. Still leaking. We keep calling and we find out he was murdered.
Oh.
For sex trafficking.
Ooh.
So then we found the roofer that I really like.
So he was not going to be on your list.
No. Found out
That's
that
crazy.
it was actually the skylights. No way he didn't replace them. Once they replaced the skylights, it stopped leaking. But the way the water was running down, it was coming down through our fireplace. So nobody put it together that it was the skylights that were leaking. But anyways, yeah.
Wow.
I have crazy stories.
Well, and I was telling somebody yesterday, like because I'm I guess 6 years into it now. I think the next evolution of my business is being more aware and cognizant of when I can be that connector because that business comes back. If you're constantly giving those people opportunities, they're going to feel obligated to send it back. Now, I'm not doing it with that expectation necessarily, but I think when you control that flow of traffic for problems, that's always connecting them with a solution, you just find more opportunities that way, and people will go out of their way to send stuff back. So,
and I also think you just have to ask them, because I'll say to my contractor, hey, I send you a lot of business. When are you going to send me some?
Yeah.
His answer is always like, you don't want to help my friends. I'm like, that's not true. But yeah, I think a lot of times you just asking makes a world of difference. A lot of people won't ask for it.
That's been my biggest sticking point for me personally. I've never, probably until last 6 months, it's never, I'd call a million people, talk to them, check on them, see how they're doing, never ask them for business. And I think that's just, it's a big, you can ask it in a way that doesn't feel like I called you to ask for business, right? Because I really didn't, but it's not a sales call if I don't ask you that question.
I just got a new coach and she really wants me to make the phone calls. And I'm like, phone calls are hard, even for our generation. And I was just listening to Ryan Serhant on a podcast, and he said that he had a client that said, don't call me, just text me because time is my biggest asset. And that's how I am. But my husband wants the phone calls. And I'm like, I have to remember that not everyone is like,
does,
yeah. I'd just say it's because he's old, but because he's 6 years older than me.
That's so
Well,
funny.
he likes his mail delivered Pony Express too, So.
No, but time is, we talked about this on our last podcast. Time's one of those things we like all the money in the world can't buy more time. And so you have to value your time. And it's obviously, I mean, it's knowing your client and meeting them where they are.
Yeah.
Is huge. So some people want to be texted, but a lot of people want to be called.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, you and I are working with a client who's like, I need Jesse to call me. Okay, we'll get it done. Yeah.
Yeah, no big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like totally like, just put it in writing. I'll read it later.
Same. Yeah. I would be willing to bet that 75% of my clients they prefer email, text, just because they can respond when they want to, versus me calling. And I'm talking like as we're going through the process,
Right?
Like, hey, I'm giving you a quick update, or I need a pay stub, or whatever. If my assistant's whatever, it's like me calling you while you're at work to tell you I need an updated pay stub. That's an inconvenience for them. So, but again, it's knowing your clients. Again, some people want to hear your voice. They want to be connected to you and hear your voice. Others, I'm like, man, shoot me a text.
Yeah.
Like I don't want you to call me because I'm going to end up talking about this. We're going to get off topic. We're going to talk about the weather outside. We're going to talk about the ball game that just happened. Now we're 12 minutes in, like, and time is everything, especially
It
when
is.
Well, it goes back to, we've always talked about time and allocating time. We all work, a lot of hours. Well, we're dads. You're the mom, but we're dads, and that's the premise of this. Is like time is not forever.
No.
And when me and him lost kids to college this year, and that was tough. And we've talked to Tyler because he's got the little ones right now, so he's in the mix and living. And I'm like, bro, we talk about it all the time, and it's not to be like gloom or doom, but it's like it's gonna come,
fast.
it's gonna go fast, and it's like, so how do we maximize our time to value our clients, our work, our profession, but also our time and our family and stuff like that? So it's just always this puzzle. You know?
And I remember the first 5 years of Sam's life, my oldest, I was like, this is taking forever. He's never going to go to school. You're like, they're never going to eat a bottle. They're never going to sleep through the night. They're never going to go to kindergarten. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, you live in Denver and you're funny. We keep making fun of him, not making fun. We're poking at him. He just got promoted to like vice president of blah, 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 blah. And we're like, he's like a 24-year-old kid.
He's a super impressive guy, though.
He is. He is amazing. My kids are awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that.
No, we're blessed. We talk about it all the time. Our kiddos are, like, I look back at my 19-year-old self and I'm like, Caroline Cronin's killing me. Like, if you watch the scoreboard, just like we talk about your kids. Chick-fil-A.
Yep.
Caroline's a Chick-fil-A grad.
Yep. 5 of mine have worked at Chick-fil-A. Yep.
But I look back and I'm like, not that we weren't doing things at Lakeside, but we were probably doing things that, we didn't want our kids to do. But
Never.
yeah, I mean,
awesome.
Time is everything for sure.
Yeah.
So, but
it is our greatest asset. And I want to get better at just asking clients, how do you want to be communicated to?
Yeah.
That's an important question.
Well, as we wrap it up, it's obviously, it's a snow day outside, by the way.
I just realized we're in a garage. I didn't even, I was like, oh, this is a garage.
Ball guys got to keep the head for him. I'm not a fashion expert. This is not fashion. This
You
is
look
called,
good, though.
You do look good.
I appreciate
Yes,
it.
very
No, I was talking about what
Did you guys coordinate
I bought a hat
this?
just in case, but I'm
Right?
like, man, it's cold.
I just realized
It
that's
is
cute.
cold.
Oh,
Yeah, it's adorable.
I want to circle back because I was kind of curious. Let's talk about your year.
Yeah.
I want to hear, like, how's your year going? Let's talk numbers. I want to hear.
Gosh, yeah.
I was getting ready to go. So
Okay, I want to. Yeah, when you said
Okay.
wrap up, I'm like, whoa,
Let's wrap
let's-
it up how the year went.
Yeah,
Let's
let's talk last year, this year, next year. I'm gonna kind of know more about.
So last year we closed 53 properties.
2024.
2024.
Yeah, just make sure,
Yes,
yeah.
53. Actually, I could tell you my gross commission, but I can't remember what our actual.
just about, I mean.
Yeah, no. But then this year we're gonna close 59 or 60, depending on a difficult seller who doesn't want to actually leave the premises. And we'll be about about 30 million. So I think average Louisville price point is $347. I think the last time I ran numbers. Does that sound right? And our average price point's more like 600. So yeah, we're doing
I was
pretty
gonna say I'm
good.
not very good at math, but that was gonna be my number, So
Yeah.
I'm joking, but
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. For those of you who got, perspective, just talking about average price points. Average price points is one thing. I would say, what's the average real estate agent closed in the city of Louisville? And you're probably talking about, a really good agent in the city of Louisville is doing 6-8 million. Like you're talking like that's a standard. A lot of people close a lot less, right? But $30 million for an individual is
Yeah, I mean,
It's
10 to 20. If
crazy.
you're closing it between 10 and 20 million,
You're doing big things.
You're
a rock
You're a
star.
legit agent.
Yeah.
You're doing big things.
Absolutely. No, I'm just talking like in context. I mean, 5 to 6, 7, 8 million is still a nice year for a lot of like younger agents or whatnot, or just not even younger, just whatever. You get in that double digit number, you're okay. You break over that 20 mark, it's next level. And I mean, that's just for our price. I mean, again, now your price point's higher, right? And
It
but
is
not
higher.
everybody's is.
But,
So
and my price point is higher, and people ask me that, like, how do I get into the luxury market? Well, do you live in the luxury market? I mean, there's something to be said for that. If you're really working your sphere, you're going to close the people that you work and live around. And I don't mean that in a snobby way at all, but like, if you're not
It's just common. I mean,
going
it's kind
to
of common
Kroger
sense
with,
in a way,
you know,
right?
like I run into,
You're just around it more.
yeah.
it's just natural. It's just the way it's going to happen.
Natural awareness and consciousness of you
Yeah.
being in the physical location.
Well,
of
people
those
ask me how, like, so we're getting back to, we want to get back to like 25 and 26, but I, did not lend money in the Panhandle other than the happens chance move that somebody says, I want to buy in the Panhandle. I'll close 35% of my 2025 business in Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. Why? I bought my first place down there. We've subsequently bought more places down there. So back to your point, do you live there? You want to sell, we want to finance investment properties. Do you own them? Right. And so people who want to be that expert, like you got to be in the business to be the expert.
Yeah.
Would you invest with a financial advisor who doesn't have any money in the market? No. Right.
That's
Let's talk
my-
about real estate agents who have never owned
A property. And I see that on Facebook asked all the time, like, should that be a prerequisite? I mean, I don't know.
If you're early,
how,
I get it. If you're a 20-year-old kid and you just started, that's one thing. I'm talking about,
And
I'm not going to name names. I know people who've been doing it a while, who've sold plenty of homes and could afford to own a home and don't. And I think
Which I'd be
that
like, why?
is insane.
Why are you not practicing what you preach?
That's what I mean. That's why I say
Yeah.
that, because it's
It's not like we're in New York where
right.
like there's plenty of
Right.
properties that you could buy. Yeah.
But in New York, you as a real estate agent can make money leasing, right? So like
Yeah.
you don't have to buy to make a
And
living.
just for
as a
the
real
you're not
estate
talking
agent.
about just every agent. You're talking about agents that are actually good agents
Correct.
making
Like,
money.
I'm
right?
talking about like there's a bajillion agents. I'm talking about ones that I know close enough business that they could afford to buy a house. It's
proven,
don't.
Well, and I
I
told
think
my
that's
police
a little
officer's
wild.
son, who thought about, he was like, can I join you on your team? I'm like, well, how about you get a little older, build your sphere more? I'm not saying he couldn't, but he was 20 at the time. I'm like, he's a hustler. He will do well, whatever he does, but I'd rather see him be a little older, know more people. He sends me his friends from Chick-fil-A he want to buy. I've closed a couple of Chick-fil-A kids. That's been awesome. But I do think if you've never bought a house, let me rewind. It was like the pediatricians who didn't have any kids who would tell me that, oh, your son should be talking by now. I'm like, he's 9 months old. Why would you're out of your mind? He's not gonna be talking yet. He's a boy. No, he's got two brothers who talk for him. There's something to be said for having a little knowledge in the market you're in.
So obviously 25 has been a great year.
Yeah.
I would call that a great.
It was a fantastic year. And in a market where a lot of people struggled.
Oh yeah, for sure. And so going into 26,
Our goal is 72 properties. We'd like to see 1 million GCI. So we'll see.
And
So-
so just real quick, that
Yeah, go
relates
ahead.
into 40 million, 42 million, if we're doing the averages.
About
somewhere
that.
there.
Yeah.
So for context, yeah.
So, because like production wise, I would say you and I had a similar, like in terms of growth, like it wasn't, what was your volume last year?
53 to 59. Yeah. So we didn't have a huge
So
growth.
that was units, but volume.
Oh, volume.
So you went from like
that's- I
20,
can't-
high 20s to 30 million basically.
Something like, yeah.
So-
I think I was mid 20s last year.
I'm very hard on myself
Same.
because I set a really high goal and obviously fell short of that. It was 50 million. I'll do even more annoying, like 39 and some change. So like I've never clipped 40 either. So that would have been cool. But, I was like, man, like I really didn't really grow. I might do, I don't know, 10 maybe more loans than I did last year. For you, because we've talked about this, like with the market being what it was this year, because it was a tough year. I mean, everything was way more challenging. I had to be way more creative. How do you? He knows how frustrated I've been lately because it, you know, this time of the year, it tends to slow down a little bit. And when you're gauging like what was like it being a successful year, because in my mind, I basically just stayed steady, right? Mentally, is that the talk track that you're having is like, hey, give yourself some grace because it was a tough, really it was a tough market and a tough year. And you still somehow managed to essentially grow slightly, but more so maintain.
No, that's a fair question. And I'm the same way. I beat the crap out of myself. Like, I'm like, oh, especially in my neighborhood where I know a lot of people, and then I'll see them list with somebody else. And just the older I get, the more I'm able to let it go. You know, you don't know what relationship they had with that person prior to you ever being in their lives. So I try to give myself that grace. But also, like, I regained a lot of time this year. You know, I brought on 3 employees. That was huge.
Yep.
It's the first time in my life of being a realtor that I'm like, I can go home and watch a show and not be on my computer the whole time.
Okay. So you bought
that
some
was
of your
kind of
time
a huge
back.
thing. Yeah. But yes, I did. And I also think I'm around a lot of agents who set really insane goals that were never attainable. And so like, why would I go you know, you'll have people that say, well, I sold 20 this year. Next year I'll sell 120. And you're like, how's that going to happen?
We literally talked about this in our sales meeting yesterday.
Yes.
People setting goals like, I did 10 million this, not me. I'm saying this person says I did 10 million this year. I'm going to do 30 next year. And it's like, well, how? And why not we set an attainable goal?
Yeah.
Like,
and so that you're not
So
discouraged.
like for you, 20, so basically you're saying like 20 extra transactions in 2026.
So our goal is
72, you said, right?
72.
Yeah.
So that'll be 12 extra
12, 13. She
transactions.
said 59.
Oh,
2 years ago,
59.
you're
Sorry,
talking
I'm the
So
mortgage
59
finance
to
guy.
72. So, and that was my new coach saying,
So one more
why
transaction
are we saying
a month,
100?
basically.
Like, let's say an attainable goal.
Because it's attainable.
Exactly.
And we literally just talked about this. And for me personally, with where I am in my career, I'm all about, like, I want to still grow.
Yeah.
But I want to do it segmented, right? I want to control it so
5
I
to
can still
10% at
control
a
my
time.
time, control my business and grow it, but not go crazy and lose what I value as my own personal life. Like, I mean, I value my life and I value my
And
time.
when is enough enough?
And
that's what I have to tell myself.
It's hard. That's what I struggle with
It's a
right now.
struggle. We all struggle with it, but setting those goals. The reason I do it, and Jesse will beat me up a little bit every now and then, because sometimes I'll set my goal with what I truly am comfortable hitting. I could probably get a little higher if I just did a little extra or did something else, and sometimes I maybe I will.
Yeah.
But I know that if I do that, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I make enough money. I got my time management right. So I'm like you, but I like that incremental, like one more month.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
doable without you going, how in the world am I going to close another 30 units next year versus just one more a month?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and
Sounds better, you know?
It does sound better. And I also like, I'm going to work my ass off no matter what.
Sure.
And that's why I've never been one to like set goals, because I'm like, I'm just going to work my ass off.
Right.
I'm going to pivot
See how it pans
and do
out,
all the
like, I know I'm
things
gonna go.
and see what happens.
Same.
But I did like the like, and I think that's one thing, you know, a lot of coaches will say, well, you just need to go on 15 listing appointments. I'm like, well, how am I going to do that?
Right.
You know, like I can't manifest people.
Well,
I can try.
And
Yeah.
you say, you know, again, you're going to work your ass off. We all work our ass off.
Yeah.
Here's my perspective on goal setting. They hear me talk about this all the time. The first moment I met him, I told him this. Like, you set a goal, right? But the big goal is just like the number that you just like, okay, that's like up there. But like really your goal is you back into it. So you go your big goal, then you go to your monthly goal, then you go to your weekly goal, then you go to your daily goal. And really the day's all you got to win. And that's what we can win when we hustle.
Yeah.
And so like he knows his number. Like I know his number's about $100,000 a day is what he needs to bring in to hit his goal. Mine's different. 537.5 is my number. Literally, like that's what I got to bring in. But I know that's my goal, and I can win that. So if I lose it today, tomorrow I might have to do 2 of those.
Yeah.
And so back to your point about hustling is that's what I think where people lose sight is A, you got to have that grind, right? You got to have the hustle. You got to be deliberate.
And truly, and you probably know the same thing. There are agents that walk in our office that I'm like, and it's not me being disparaging, but I'm like, you will never make it in this industry. I can tell by the way that you hustle or don't hustle that this isn't for you.
Right.
And don't try to shove a square peg in a round hole.
Right.
You can't fake it.
No, and go find what you love. And that's okay if it's not real estate.
Yeah.
Same
You
with
And I
can't,
think
you can't,
there
you
are-
can't fake it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're all cut from the same cloth, and again, I'm like, I've always worked, so it's like I may not have that same goal to where I failed today, I got to double tomorrow. I know I'm waking up, I'm grinding today, and I'm probably gonna be grinding tonight. You know, watching a TV show, having a bourbon, I'm still be grinding over there.
Yeah.
Like, so it's finding your time, but I'm never worried about, like, for me, I knock on some wood. I feel like if I wake up with my same mentality, my same work ethic, it's gonna work.
It's gonna be
I'm
okay.
gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it happen. If I somehow, some way, and we're all in that same mode, right? We wake up and it's like, listen, let's go get it. Just work hard. Work hard, work smart. And I don't know. I think
Work hard, work smart, and be genuine, and take care of your clients.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
Oh,
I
well,
think
that's a
you-
big piece
I
of
know
it too.
I know
yeah.
these guys. I'm the same way. If you
Just be yourself.
you always are yourself, and you always put your clients' needs 1st, the rest takes care of itself.
100%.
That's it. That's
And
all
you're
that
not
matters.
going to be every client's best fit. And I'm okay with that. I've had
Same.
a couple
Can't
clients
be
where I'm
everything
like,
for everybody. I have to
this
tell
isn't a
myself
good
that every
fit.
day.
Same. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like
know?
I'm a pretty good chameleon, but I mean, like, but you
Me
can't.
too.
Yeah, I mean, I can, but it is like Jesse said earlier. Like, there's just times on when it's like we got to part ways. You know, I mean, it just happens. And you're like, you know what? You're right. We need to go our own way, and that's a value for both sides.
It is. And I think, I remember talking with Alyssa Withrow, who's kind of the CEO of KW at our office, and saying like, well, maybe I could change this. And she's like, why would you change for this one person when what everybody else likes is that? I'm
Fire your
like,
bottom
that's true.
20%.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Get rid of them.
Yeah.
If they are like causing me angst and sleepless nights, it's
not worth it.
Well, because it impacts the people that are your people.
Yes, and it
Because
makes
your
me
energy's getting
bitter
correct.
and
Well,
like,
Then you start snapping at people that don't
Yes,
deserve it. Like it's not
exactly.
them.
And not just clients, the people you love.
Yeah, because I have
yes,
a
because
I
Greg
struggle.
gets the brunt
Yeah,
of it
friends.
I
sometimes.
struggle with that too. It's-
Yeah. Well, listen, we got to wrap up.
Yep. This was great,
This
guys.
was awesome. Yeah, we
Yeah.
appreciate you being here. This is
Absolutely.
what it's about. It's just conversations, you know. And
How many women have you had on here?
you are
that was a-
number.
that was that question when-
You are number uno.
yeah,
Are you
I would say, yeah,
serious?
you have to. You are the
You are
first
I'm
one.
the
yeah.
first one?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's go. Let's go.
When are you going to have more women?
We only do these every couple weeks, Heather. This
Oh,
is
you
like,
do? Okay,
this is
I
like
don't-
episode.
Yeah, this is like-
it's like episode 8.
Okay.
Right?
No, it's like
This won't
I think
doesn't
it's
have to be
12.
in
Is
the
it 12? I think
podcast.
so.
Yeah, but we haven't had
How
guests
do
on
I
everyone.
find the
Yeah, that's true.
podcast?
It's on Spotify and YouTube. Yeah.
Okay, I got to find it.
So literally,
Yeah.
Spotify Funding Fathers.
We'll
we
send
got
it
the
to
best
you.
logo. We'll send it to you. Yeah.
My kids make fun of me because I'm still on Pandora.
We are not on Pandora, but
Yeah,
we're on
won't
YouTube.
be on Pandora.
We're on YouTube
We're
and
down with
Spotify.
My kids are like 2005 called mom. They want their
You gotta
Pandora
share
back.
this. The kids will love it. Yeah, you gotta share this with the kids.
So it's not on
Pandora.
Apple.
Are you on
though.
the free?
Like, how
The
do
video-
Do you pay?
No, I don't pay.
Oh,
I'm
you
cheap.
listen to the ads?
Yes.
I was gonna
Oh
say, bro,
my.
I
she
was
doesn't strike me as
raised
the
by
type to be
Mark
paying for
Lepper. We don't
ad
pay for
only.
anything.
Oh,
No.
you
All right,
sound like
so
Clay
listen,
Williams.
So we're not on Apple. We're
Okay.
on Spotify. You don't pay for Spotify, it sounds like, which is bonkers. YouTube is free.
I don't pay
You
for
go to
Spotify.
YouTube. Funding
My husband
Fathers.
pays for Spotify, and we tried to connect my account, and it wouldn't.
You gotta get the because you gotta get the family
He
membership.
has the
It's like
family
an extra
membership, but it
$3.
like kicks me out every time. I'm not meant to have paid Spotify.
Also, just saying, if you have YouTube Premium, I don't know if anyone does.
we have
I,
YouTube Premium.
I actually don't, but I know that you can listen to, like, you could pull the video up and watch
Yeah.
that and lock your phone, and it'll still play like
Yeah.
audio. So, I mean, that's another way you could do
We
that.
still are on a Dave Ramsey budget, and my husband wanted YouTube Premium, and it has to come out of his allowance. That's how strict we are with our budget.
Let's
I know.
go.
I know.
We might need to talk because
We have. I mean, I
we
have an
don't have a
allowance
budget
too.
for real. Like,
so, like, it's not just.
I just know rough what we spend.
dude,
give or
get on a
take.
budget. It's
But-
freeing.
Yeah.
No,
Most
we-
people aren't on it, and
we
that's
might
what,
have to talk about that.
It always made me laugh when people say, "How much a month do you spend on groceries?" People often don't know, and ours is more lax now that we make more money. But I could have told you down to the penny
Yeah.
Yeah,
how
it's
much,
pretty nuts.
like what we paid on toiletries and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, that's it. From
All
the closing
right.
table.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming on.
Yes.
My fellow
It was
79. My fellow
awesome.
79.
Yeah. No, well, it's been another fun episode
Yeah.
at the closing table with
Yeah.
Miss Heather Spencer. So
Thank
appreciate
you.
you taking the time to hang out this
Yeah.
week.
Lady,
Absolutely.
lady
Let's
number
go.
one. Let's go.
I love
Boom,
it.
boom.
So exciting.
All right,
Thank
look,
you guys.
tell one of this what Chad did on the first three. X, we're X.